My name is Sarah, professional interior designer and creator of the blog She Holds Dearly. On this channel, I like to talk about making a home beautiful on any budget. I haven't actually shared on here our dishwasher situation that's been going on for multiple months now, but we haven't had a dishwasher. Ours gave up pretty fast. I think it was 4 years old or something. I don't know what's going on with the lifespan of appliances these days, but we keep going through dishwashers. And I did hand washing for many months through Thanksgiving and lots of company and things, and it was okay, but honestly, I'm really happy that we have a dishwasher again. We are focusing on this project, and I just wanted to share with you the way that we updated. Is that what we want to say? We made it integrated in a sense and tried to make the kitchen feel old still by changing out the cover on our dishwasher. We went with this brand. It's not one that I have used before or even heard of. It's called Beko, B-E-K-O, and the company is out of Europe. Their idea is to get their foot in the door here in the US marketplace. And so their prices are low, just introductory prices. And so we bought one. We so far have really liked it. It cleans really, really well. You don't have to wash your dishes before you wash your dishes, kind of a thing. And so we've been happy with that. And I've known for several years now that I wanted to pretty much copy my friend Andrea from Pine and Prospect Home. They covered their dishwasher front to make it look like an old antique ice chest. And I just loved the idea. I loved that it was possible to even DIY something like that. Now, her kitchen's different in that it's a galley kitchen, so you look down the kitchen and you don't actually see much of the dishwasher anyway from the angle that you look at, when you first walk in. But mine, you walk into the kitchen and the dishwasher is the first thing that you see. And I don't want it to be. I want the sink to be a focal point, and I want the stove to be a focal point. So I did a little scouting on Pinterest for different styles of ice chests, just to kind of narrow down what the vision was, because I didn't know that the color of Andrea's was going to work in my kitchen. I felt like it was going to actually just turn into another focal point. I don't want that many focal points. You actually only need 2 focal points in any room. If you go to 3 focal points, which is hard for me because I love to make everything special, but it is actually very necessary to have good design to make 2 focal points max. And actually, this is something that I teach with many other things, design principles, in my new online school called the Dear House Society. There's multiple tiers that you can choose from depending on how much help you need, just from video access all the way up to having a design coach with architecture background and antique training. And so I will put the link in the description below if you're interested in joining the Dear House Society to learn more things like only 2 focal points, which is really, really helpful. So I knew that I wasn't going to be able to do the oak look that a lot of these antique ice chests are showing on Pinterest, and really what I would say Andrea used as her inspiration. And so my question was, could I paint it without completely looking ridiculous? And according to Pinterest, I think I could. I think I can paint this. It will give a nod to the past without making it stand out too much. So we sketched up a little design and got to work on how we could make it look like different sections, different compartments like drawers and doors, and had to have the top flap open. And we needed to be able to then open the whole dishwasher door and it pivot inside. So that was actually a difficult part. We had to figure out where to cut out a space at the bottom of our cover that we were making. So we will do our best here to take you along and share with you the steps that you will need to do if you want to do this with your dishwasher and help you understand sort of the tutorial here. But we had to build this removable frame we made ours removable because we think our dishwashers die all the time. And so we're prepared to take it all apart and reuse it on the next dishwasher. But we build the base part that is part of the cabinet. Then we just had some extra cedar planks. I don't know if you remember when we were trying to decide on our paneling in the kitchen, but we bought some different samples. And so we had this whole pack of cedar planks that we were just going to use up. This project didn't cost us that much. And so we pieced together the main part, and then with the cedar tongue and groove. And I have some of it going horizontal and some of it going vertical, depending on what was a drawer and what was going to be a little cabinet doors. Then Colby ripped 1.5-inch strips because I wanted it to have shaker style trim work all the way around. I'm going to link the hinges. We actually forgot to put the hinges in when we first made the upper flap. The key with the hinges, you don't have to use mine, but the key with the hinges is that they need to be really stiff. So when you close them, the little flap stays closed. There's nothing holding that top flap closed. It doesn't have a magnet or a latch or anything. It's just those hinges are super tight. It holds it all up. You want to screw the hinges from the back side. We had to redo the hinges a few times. I don't know. We couldn't get them straight. So just go slowly with the hinges and make sure it's doing exactly what you want it to do. Well, Colby is being so sweet helping me get this project done. I'm going to make him spaghetti, which is his favorite meal. And I'm going to pull out some of my wild grain bread that I've been saving in the freezer. Wild Grain is the first bake from frozen subscription box that there's ever been. They've got sourdough breads, artisanal pastries, and fresh made pastas. Newsweek and USA Today have both given raving reviews for Wild Grain products. I love that they support small bakers and pasta makers all over the country, and in so doing, they're keeping artisanal skills and nutritional food alive for people that are super busy like me. Their goal is that you will have bread products that can be eaten in 25 minutes from the freezer to the table in 25 minutes. This has made our lives so much easier, even if it's just opening the freezer and getting inspiration by finding one piece that will work, and then I can build around it, like add soup to some bread. If you're looking to upgrade the quality of your breads and pastas and pastries, this is a great way to go. I, for one, am a sourdough dropout. I just don't have the focus to get it done. Maybe I will later on in life, but for now, this is one of the ways that I get this done. They have amazing seasonal treats like the apple cider donuts and the pumpkin cinnamon biscuits are ones we talk about all year. They're only available in the fall, but we talk about them all year. If you are gluten-free or vegan, or if you want something that has a lot of protein in it, that's new. They've added that in just recently. You can select that type of box to be sent to you. Use my code sheholdsdearly, all caps. That'll get you $30 off your first subscription and free croissants for life. I'll put the link in the description below. loved all the little hardware we picked out. We have this little latch and knobs, and I have pulls that we could use. I even found a little dial. This is from Magnolia, and I'll link this for you as well. But it's a little label. You spin it and you say clean or dirty, and tells you what is in the dishwasher. And I just think it's such a fun touch. Colby worked really hard on the gold pulls for me. He's so nice. He just is so patient with me as I'm designing and I'm changing my mind on things. I bought these gold pulls. I thought they would be so fun, as they were the only place I was going to use them in the kitchen. And then we put them up and I instantly knew. I knew that the scale was off. They looked way too big. They looked way too fake. It just wasn't believable. You know how I don't like things that are contrived. So it was looking contrived, and I knew instantly, I don't want this. I don't want this in my kitchen for 4 more years. And so I said it right then. You know, when you need to pivot on a project, it's best to rip that Band-Aid off as fast as you can. And so I said, nope, they're too big. I'm so sorry I had you do that, but we need to fill the holes and we need to put small knobs on there instead of those 2 big over the top pulls. And I don't know if I can even return those, but I'll use them for something. I still like them. So he graciously changed them to the knobs. Those knobs are what we're going to use on all of our cabinets. So knowing when to pivot is really, really important. I just want to say that again. That is something that I teach in the mindset and the design process part of the Dear House Society. Again, if you are looking for more training, more community, more support, even professional aid as you're going through your projects and you really want to get things done this year, check out our Dear House Society and see if we can help you finish some of your projects this year. I'm excited that we were able to expand She Holds Dearly in this way and be a lot more helpful, not just educational, but also helping with accountability and actually seeing your homes actually get transformed instead of just giving out the education. I recently watched a YouTube video, and I'll link this for you as well. Lots of links for you today. I think it was called Why is the World So Ugly? And it was all about comparing and contrasting our cities and our architecture, our light posts and our public gates and doors and the things that we have now in the cities. Why we do what we do now compared to the way it was done in the Victorian days. And it really got me thinking about how we have moved away from beauty just in our everyday life, and we're not putting in the time and the artistry and the intention to make simple things beautiful, like our dishwasher or the lamppost. And they had examples of even a sewer plant from the 1800s was just as beautiful as the House of Parliament. Now that sewer plant is in England. It is now a museum. It's so beautiful. And the guy that did the documentary was just raising the question, like, why have we stopped wanting beauty around us? Why have we stopped prioritizing that, valuing it, and understanding its impact on our psychology all day long? We actually could do it even easier than we've ever done it, and yet we don't. And he was wanting us to rethink that. And I mean, I showed it on my Christmas video, but I even have labels from canned goods from the Victorian age, and I keep them. To me, they're art. They're art. They're not just labels off of a can of tomatoes or peas or something. They are absolutely gorgeous works of art. They're embossed, and that's just how the Victorians did everything. They loved the art and the human touch, and they valued every tiny thing that they dealt with every day, and they tried to make it beautiful. And I want people to begin to question how utilitarian we've become, and with our technology and our convenience, and for just our fundamental worldview to begin to swing back towards this Victorian worldview. And so you're going to see more of that on She Holds Dearly. If you haven't already seen a lot of that going on, that is a priority of mine, and you can see it here with what we've done with our dishwasher. And I really love how it turned out. I think it's going to be just subtle and beautiful next to the whole design of the sink. And I want to add a curtain under the sink. And then our beautiful Italian stove. Hopefully you got some inspiration from today's video. And the last thing I don't know what to do with is my refrigerator. And I don't want that to be a focal point because I already have my two. But so if you have any ideas what we could do with our refrigerator, let me know in the comments. And I'm just curious to hear your thoughts on today's musing about just the different worldviews and the way we have stopped prioritizing beauty in our daily lives, and just hear your take on that as well. So thank you so much for being here. You guys take care, and I'll see you next week.